Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is HD.
And this is Pain User.
And we're back for game number 2 of the IPL. This is in winners round 2 between two of the most epic players. Their tier, basically, on the Protoss and Terran levels, they're the top tier of those. And it is going to be Socke versus Thorzain. Game 2. In game 1, Socke lost to Thorzain, and Thorzain executed a brilliant drop at the natural, really able to propel him to win that game. Here we are in game 2. It is going to be on Shakuras Plateau, a pretty big map, not as big as Crevasse, but still a big one. And I'm interested to see how this game's going to play out.
Yeah, Thorzain, gathering so much intel throughout that game, using a Hellion to scout, and as soon as he realized that Socke's army was out of position, immediately loads up 2 medevacs worth of units, heads straight to the natural. And a lot of times, players have to be really careful when you're playing against Protoss. They will keep a small squad of stalkers in the back to deal with drops. They'll shoot down the medevacs before you can even get your troops out. Thorzain scouting, seeing all of the units at the front because Socke took a very early third. He did have those 6 gates, but they really hadn't started kicking in yet, so he didn't have that big of an army. And Thorzain just able to do so much damage with that drop.
Talk about really good scouting, right?
It was amazing.
That Hellion, what does it cost? 100 minerals, making itself basically worth the cost of the entire game.
And it had 5 HP, and he kept it alive the entire time. I believe one of the stalkers actually might have turned to start shooting it, and Thorzain immediately pulled it out of there, kept the Hellion alive to maybe scout later on in the game. And I just love that, not getting greedy with your scouting units. Hellions, Reapers, a lot of times players will see the mining line and be like, oh my god, I've got to kill probes, or I've got to kill drones. But if you keep those units alive, you can save them for a rainy day and use them again to scout.
Yeah, he's got to give that Hellion a commendation.
Absolutely.
Won him the game. So,
absolutely.
I mean, hopefully we'll see some hero scouting and some hero units this game as well. Always awesome to see a unit that just wins the game for you. Doesn't look like we're going to see that early command center or the early nexus as of yet. Thorzain has a Marine coming out here. We'll be able to repel the scouting probe. And Socke is going for the cybernetics core. Thorzain has 1 gas for now. I wonder if he's going to throw down a quick tech lab and go straight into factory.
He did build that second Marine. Did he? Yeah. Canceling the second Marine. I was just about to say, well, he does have a second Marine coming, so he's probably not going to get a super early tech lab, but he canceled the second Marine right as it was about to finish and went ahead and grabbed a tech lab on that Rax. I thought he was actually going to get a factory here, and he does drop a command center almost immediately after that. His Marine looking for that probe. The probe actually patrolling outside of the natural, going to head back to one of the Xel'Naga towers, and he's getting a Marauder first. He's not getting that Reaper that we see so many players love to use on this map.
Yeah. Well, Marauders in general are fairly good against gateway units. I would like to see him get concussive shells as well, as if he's going to go for this early Marauder. Is he going to get a second one, or is he going to get a concussive shell? I would imagine second barracks on the way. No concussive shells yet, Pain User.
Interesting. It looks like he wants to deal with this little bit of early pressure we have coming out of Socke here. We do have a relatively quick Zealot and Stalker on the way.
He's actually going to get Stim first before concussive shells.
Impressive. I don't disagree with that at all. Concussive shells is really nice if you're going to be doing some type of a push or something like that, but it looks like he's going to use this 2 racks defensively, and in that case, getting Stim as early as possible is never a bad idea. Then hopefully by the time the Protoss player pushes, you'll have a couple bunkers down, and if you have Stim, it makes dealing with a 3-gate or 4-gate timing push so much easier.
Thorzain is just getting insurance. Insurance at his front door, and he's getting the upgrades he'll need to defend against that. I would love to see a bunker go down at the front as well. Speak of the devil. Bunkers on the way. Thorzain has his command center. Both these players are going to have their... Actually, no, Thorzain is getting his orbital. So Thorzain has had this for a much longer time than Socke has. And I like the economic advantage that Thorzain is going to get out of this. So
both players took their command center and Nexus respectively very early on. Socke might be a couple seconds behind, but he'll be able to make up for that with the double chrono boost, continually pumping probes, and he does have a slight advantage in tech. He already has his robo on the way. We're probably going to see, we do already have +1 on the way from Thorzain, so going for those very quick upgrades, and there's the factory just now adding his second gas, and it's kind of interesting that he's had enough gas. Adding all of his gases right now, going up to 4 gas very early on.
He gets so much gas to start things off. I mean, I guess he could go straight into all these upgrades, but he's already got stim and +1 weapons on the way. So my guess is as good as yours as to why he needs all this gas, perhaps for quick dropships, and he's going to try to play some dropship play into this game like he did in the last one.
Yeah, well, he's definitely going to grab a reactor and get double medevacs pumping out of the starport. There's no two ways about that, but you don't necessarily need 4 gas this early to do something like that. So this makes me think that he might be trying to get some early ghosts here. He still needs to get combat shield. He hasn't got that yet, so there's another 100 gas for you. He's going to have to get armor 2 pretty soon. There's another 100 gas for you. The reactor is another 50, the starport, and then the additional 2 medevacs. So he's going to need quite a bit of gas to get all of the upgrades this early on. Generally, you'll kind of get them one at a time as the game progresses. You'll get those upgrades as needed, but it looks like he's just preparing early on for the mid and late game.
Thorzain is really one of those players that likes to prep. He wants
absolutely.
to be prepped perfectly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, if the things don't go according to plan, then he's one of those players that everything has to be perfect.
Yeah,
everything's worked out in an absolute build order in his mind, and I think he's going to have everything working out pretty well for him here, as this build order has been going pretty well thus far.
Alex, you put that better in words than I could have, or anybody that I know. That's exactly how I feel about Thorzain. I know I've mentioned it before that I think his builds are so clean, but really that is the essence of his play style. He's a very preparatory player. He gets everything ready ahead of time. If I need this later, I've already got it.
Yeah.
If I need Vikings, if my opponent's rushing for Colossus, I already have a starport with a reactor. If I need to drop, I already have my 2 medevacs. It's
kind of like Zerg. You know how Zerg always gets all their buildings in preparation just in case? In a way it is. If you need Roach Warren up just in case the Protoss pushes you with a bunch of forces, you make a bunch of Roaches. So, yeah, you're right. He's very preparatory. He has everything going for him right now. He's got all the weapons and upgrades going. His income is right on par with the Protoss. But let's not take anything away from Socke. We've been kind of ignoring him for a while. Socke off in the far, far top right-hand corner. He's been doing pretty well himself. And he's been gearing himself up, and he's getting Blink. So he's going to have a lot of Blink Stalkers ready. Would not surprise me to see him get charged as well.
Definitely no slouch. He's not as much of a preparatory player. He's more of a reactionary player. Socke is so good at reacting to what his opponent is doing and taking it from there. He'll make small adjustments throughout the game and just continue to run away with minute advantages. He's not one of those players that will just go all in on a whim or anything like that. He's very methodical throughout the game.
Okay, Speedy Gonzalez running in here to scout the Protoss. Hey, he's doing the same thing he did in the last game. Sacrificing 1 unit to scout is actually going to unload 1 Hellion to go for a full scout off in, but loses the dropship.
Oh, that
Not
sucks.
worth it for a scout at all.
Well,
I mean it is worth it, but he could have saved it.
Absolutely.
Could have gotten out there with the dropship.
It depends on what you find, right? You can. Hindsight is 2020. We have our observer position.
Yes.
We get to see everything that's happening. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Not worth it. But from Thorzain's perspective, he doesn't know what Socke is up to. He could be rushing Colossus. He could have a double robo. He could have DTs on the way. And Thorzain doesn't know that. So in Thorzain's shoes at that moment, it was definitely worth it.
But he could have gotten out there with the dropship alive.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We don't know that. He dropped it right at the edge of the cliff and tried to bring it back. Maybe that dropship pilot was like,
just lazy.
Having a little delay, taking a lavatory break or something.
I thought drugs were only used on bio.
Lavatory break?
Oh, maybe the dropship driver was just.
They need stim packs.
Oh yeah, stim right out of there, and it just gets out of there really quick.
Well,
that could be an upgrade in Heart of the Swarm. Actually, no, that's a horrible idea.
Some pilots in the U.S. Air Force actually have stimulants for when they're on super long bombing runs or covert missions, and they've been flying for upwards of 10 to 20 hours. Yeah,
I've read about that. They need that because you can't stay awake for
physically.
that long.
Physically, it's like impossible. Well, you could stay awake, but I mean, imagine flying a multi-million-dollar jet and you're dozing off at the wheel.
The government wouldn't want you to crash like an F-22 or something like that.
Actually, some of them are multi-billion dollars.
Oh yeah, they're multi millions to billions. Oh, talking about expensive air units, Thorzain ends up losing 4 Vikings. Oh my god.
Oh man, so those pilots all maybe dozing off as well, just landing in the midst of Socke's territory. Socke now using this heavy gateway armor. Oh my god, Socke has actually gone, I was about to say armor 2.
Yeah.
He already has weapons too. So Socke changing up his style completely. He's going with the weapons upgrades now, and he's adding those Colossus into the mix. We do have range and a second Colossus on the way right now, as well as armor, and Thorzain is slowly pushing across the middle of the map right now. He does have quite a few medevacs, and he also has those early ghosts that I was talking about, adding those into his army relatively early on this game, and I love that out of him. That's probably why he got that 4 gas so early on, but still, Thorzain floating 600 gas at this point, so still a little bit of a surplus. Maybe could have gone with 3 gas and then transitioned into 4 a little bit later, but nonetheless, I love the play out of him.
Well, here's the thing, though. He's got infantry weapons level 3 coming. He just sucked up a good 300 of those gas to going into that infantry weapons, and armor level 3. So maybe that gas was well used. Oh, EMPs for an observer, I believe, there to pick it off. I might have been mistaken. I'm not sure exactly.
No, it
what
was.
That
it
was an obs. Okay.
Absolutely.
Hey, why not? Use an EMP. It does.
I don't
units.
know if Thorzain has enough here.
He doesn't have enough. No, he definitely doesn't. He needs to get out of here right now.
Oh my goodness.
Falling back?
I don't know what just happened there. I feel like Socke had a huge advantage going into that fight.
Yeah.
Maybe just getting a little bit skittish right there. No important EMPs were hit. The sentry still had some energy. He was able to continually force field and guardian shield throughout that fight. We do have 3-3 on the way now for Thorzain. Thorzain pumping some Vikings right now, getting an additional starport with a reactor, so he will have double reactors. Also taking that sneaky bottom middle expo, or the smiley face expo. It's gonna look it looks like a clown now. See, there's a big red nose.
There's a red nose. You just want to push it or squeeze it.
Too bad. Too bad we can't actually do that.
So would this be like the upside down face?
I don't know. Maybe that's like the psycho clown face, the upside down clown face. But Socke right now with this huge army. Look how big his army is. He does have a safe, secure third. Thorzain going to be up 1 base. He does have that bottom middle.
Oh, pain. But we have
my
some
goodness.
007s are here. The 3DTs coming in, but a missile turret. So well placed. Socke will have to fall back. That planetary fortress. What are they called? The twin Ibix cannon.
Wow, did you see the reaction time on Thorzain right there to surround and prevent the DTs from killing that turret? So quick. And ooh, it looks like those DTs are going to head over towards the main army, just getting some scouting information. He's
EMP?
definitely going to scan that and take it out. And we have so many Colossus on the field right now for Socke. The Viking count, not quite there. We have a 4th Colossus on the way right now.
He has 8 Vikings.
And he's producing them 4 at a time. That's what's important. 8 Vikings I don't think is enough right now, but he's producing quad Vikings, and it looks like Thorzain is going to move out here. It looks like he wants to make his move. He's heading over to Socke's side of the map, and he is going to pressure the 3rd here, heading into the midfield, going to stem a couple units ahead and try and pick off this Stalker. He will be able to do it and get some scouting information at the same time.
Yeah, well, he already threw the comm set down, so he definitely knows exactly what Socke has.
Oh my god, look at all those Colossus.
He has so many Colossus right now, and the one thing that Socke doesn't have quite going for him yet is his upgrades. They're not quite on par with his opponent
even close.
yet. I mean, he's about to finish +3 weapons, and he's going to have 1 armor, but look at the infantry of Thorzain. It's already at 3 armor and at 3 weapons. It is maxed out, and those Marines and Marauders do so much damage, man. I mean, can you imagine with Stim? Would you want to fight off against an army of Marines and Marauders?
Here we go.
Here comes Thorzain. No.
Both players being very skittish right now. Neither player wants to commit. This is such an important battle. It's all going to come down to this. The Vikings are going to go in ahead of time and start picking off the Colossus.
Oh, and the force field's going to be able to chop off a little bit of the Marines and Marauders, but they're easily able to retreat. There are so many Vikings in the air, Pain User. All those Colossus are going to go down. Thorzain in a good position. He needs to get his Vikings out ASAP. Able to kill off all those Colossus. Really good trade, and now he can land the Vikings, and they can do their little pea shooter Gatling gun damage. And Thorzain in a strong position to pick off a Nexus. Oh, but Socke has some Templar, gets a couple
Oh
storms
my
off.
god, those storms
Oh.
were huge. All the units going into the red, and Socke is warping in so many more units. I think he's going to be able to clean this up.
Yep.
Tons of Zealots heading in with charge, Blink Stalkers, and they are most definitely going to clean up this entire attack. Socke working off of so many gateways right now.
How many does he have?
He has quite a few.
About 9,
1, 2, 3, 4,
perhaps?
5, 6, 7, 8.
9, 10, about 12, I would say.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
So he
so
is
many
working off a
gateways.
ton of gateways right now.
That's one of the things you notice about good Protoss players. They always make sure they have at least 10 plus gateways.
Oh,
in the
absolutely. Especially in the late game. I've seen players like Hasuabs, Socke even, Mana. They will go up to 15 to 20 gateways sometime in the late game. And you know what that does? That allows Protoss to accumulate money in the late game, and it gives them an opportunity to dump. It gives them a mineral and gas sink. They can just dump all that money back into army immediately.
Yeah.
They can have a fight, lose their army, and then boom, they have another army on the
back in
field
your face,
instantaneously, up to 30, 40 supply worth of units, depending.
It's just so smart to do that, Pain User. I mean, when a Protoss army is maxed, they're accumulating all this minerals. Why not just drop them down into warp gates, and you'll need them later regardless. So I like how Socke has all the warp gates ready to go. His army is pretty much near max already. The Terran player is actually stumbling far behind.
And we
Only at
have
135 supply.
Thorzain sneaking through the bottom middle. He is going to take those rocks out, and I don't know if he has enough right now. What is his supply at? 138. Oh my goodness, he is just not able to catch up. How many racks is Thorzain working off right now? Head back to the battle.
Not very many at all.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Still might be able to break in here.
Yeah, he's gonna get in here. A couple DTs are slicing that Marauder army in half. Is he gonna get a comsat down? Yes, he gets a comsat, but look at all the charge lots are coming in. The Chinese infantry has arrived. They're running in with their swords blazing. They're gonna slice and dice these Marauders, and Thorzain will have to GG.
Oh my god, he GG'd right there. Wow.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I agree. He was down certainly 154 to 116 supply. And we are seeing more and more of this throughout this tournament. Players, knowing each other so well, knowing each other's skill sets, all having played each other in so many tournaments now that, they know when they've lost. And so many players, it seems to people like, why would he GG there? Thorzain definitely not in a good position in that game. There's no two ways about it. He didn't have a PF at the bottom middle. He was working off an orbital there at his bottom middle expansion. Yeah, he's working off an orbital there, so he wouldn't really be able to set up a stronghold. But,
it's the Hydra effect.
Yeah, it is the Hydra effect.
Spreading
like the plague.
Yes.
Anyways, Socke is going to go ahead and take game 2. So I hope you guys are ready for game 3 between these two excellent players, Thorzain and Socke, giving us a series to remember. And we will be right back with the rubber match.